What's going on, everybody? Oh my goodness. This game right here, the Atlanta Falcons, Matty Ice, which I'm calling him Matty Ice right now because he earned it in his last playoff game. Usually I call him Matty Dry Ice. If you guys been watching my recaps, you know I've been calling him Dry Ice because he's always coming up short. Usually, in certain, listen guys, certain times the man doesn't perform the way he's supposed to, but listen, the game that he played, okay, when he beat on the Seattle Seahawks, I gotta respect that man. Matty Ice against Aaron Rodgers. So it's the Packers and the Falcons. This game is, okay, we're gonna jump right into it. This championship game is probably going to be a very high scoring game. Combined, maybe 70 points or more combined. The reason that I say that is this. The Falcons are going to do a lot of blitzing, and I think it's going to open up a lot of screenplays and, you know, quick hitches that possibly can be taken for more yardage. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to recognize the fact that people are seeing that he's getting enormous amounts of time in the pocket. And I don't know if his offensive line just became like straight, like these dudes are really, really balling right now. Dudes are not able to get to Aaron Rodgers, and they acting like this dude is a bum quarterback. You got to blitz this guy. And that's the reason that the Dallas Cowboys lost that game. Every time they blitzed, they had a lot of success. They sent four with just a regular four-man rush, no safety. Aaron Rodgers stayed back there. You know, he pitched the tent, called up his girl, banged her in the back, and then threw a touchdown. You cannot send four if your D-line cannot rush, and that's what the problem is. They don't got a D-line like the New York Giants did in the Super Bowl against the Patriots both times, where you can just rush four, sometimes rush three and get pressure. You don't have that. But I don't expect the Falcons to have that issue. I think Vic Beasley's going to come up big. I think they're going to send blitzes. I think they're going to play Aaron Rodgers the way that you have to play him to slow him down. That's what I'm envisioning. I expect Matt Ryan to have a very comfortable day with his two-headed monster. With you know, that's the one advantage that I give the Falcons. QB and QB, I think that's fine with both of them can do very good things. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, is the better quarterback, but I think that I'm going to go ahead and make that a wash. Quarterback versus quarterback. Now we're going to look at the run game. We got a wide receiver in Montgomery that's been doing very, very well. But listen, Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman, those two guys, man, they're going to harass that. Look, man, that defense right there, that Packers D, bro, I hope Clay Matthews did his hair and he got head and shoulders, bro, because these dudes are going to be running amok. That's the edge that the Falcons have. Defensively, I think the Packers are banged up, but they took care of the Dallas Cowboys for the most part, even though, you know, Dez Bryant did have over 100 yards and 2 TDs. They did just enough to maintain it. Even with the Giants, they played well, even though, like I said, they had injuries in the secondary. So when you look at the Falcons, and, you know, Julio Jones should be ready to go. His toe has been really, really lingering with that injury, and I don't like it. And I don't think that if he's not 100%, it's going to be the same thing, but Matt Ryan has been able to share the ball with more receivers than I believe any quarterback in the NFL this year with touchdowns. He just shares the ball, so I don't think that's going to be a major issue, but Julio Jones is a dog. He's a dog, as they say in the South. So I think with him out there, it's going to be a much more difficult game for the Packers secondary, even if he's out there for a decoy. I know that with the whole full week, they should be able to give him a decent amount of treatment on his toe, get it like calmed down so that it doesn't get aggravated as much early in the game. And I think if he starts the game and he's able to have a successful first half, I expect the Falcons to be winning this game throughout. Again, just like I said about the Dallas Cowboys, you cannot allow the Packers to go up and play comfortable where Aaron Rodgers coming out and just throwing the ball all over the field. You have to play with the lead. Because I don't believe that he's not going to be able to get his team where they need to be in critical situations. I really just don't. But looking at the edge with the run game, I expect Matt Ryan to be calm. I expect him to be able to sit in the pocket and do things. I expect the offense to continue to be prolific. I expect the crowd to go crazy. I expect this game to end with the Falcons winning. Now, I know Aaron Rodgers is hot. If you touch him, you burn your fingers. I understand all that. I'm very, very cognizant of the fact that the man is playing out of his mind. I'm very, very cognizant of the fact that the dude runs to one side, throws the ball to the other side, throws it. Yo, this dude is unbelievable. I understand all that. What I'm trying to tell you is this. I really don't see how the Falcons can lose this game. Even with Aaron Rodgers going buck wild. Because they're going to match each other score for score. But somebody's going to get a stop. Somebody's going to get a stop. And I believe that when that stop comes, it's going to come down to, can we run the ball? Can we choose some clock? And I have to go with the double-headed monster of Tevin Coleman and, Devontae Freeman. I don't know how you cannot pay attention to that. Keep in mind, though, the reasoning behind, because I picked the Seahawks to beat the Falcons, but I negated the run game because I didn't believe that they would be able to run against the Seattle Seahawks. Because I thought that they, pretty much Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman, they're outside runners. And if you look at the Seattle Seahawks defense, they don't allow runs to the outside. They close the gap very, very quickly. They're very, very fast on defense. They're not a grind you out like, if you're like a gritty runner, like a Le'Veon Bell, they don't grind you out up the middle. They run stretches outside. They could go ahead and play around in the middle sometimes, but they prefer to run outside. So I didn't expect the Falcons to be able to run like that. And to then again, just outright disrespect Richard Sherman and just throw right at him the entire game. Those things I didn't expect. So looking at the fact that they were able to run the ball regardless of that speed of the Seahawks, I don't expect the Packers to be able to contain that run. And I know, like I said, again, Packer fans, I love me some Aaron Rodgers. What Stephen A. Smith say, he a bad man? I love me some Aaron Rodgers. But I'm speaking objectively about what I think should possibly transpire. And when you look at that run game is scary. I'm going to tell you that run game has been giving me nightmares because I'm like, yo, the Packers are so hot and you just don't know what's going to happen because if Aaron Rodgers just start going wild, just start throwing the ball, however, he's looked so comfortable and he's been doing it with such ease, it is scary. But when you look on the other side of the ball, the Falcons could come right back down the field and score on you too. They could do whatever. They could, I'm going to tell you this right now. They went to GmiasWorld and beat on the Cowboys. I think that took a lot out of the Packers. Because remember, that game came down to the end. They were beating them by 18, and then they allowed them to come back. Then they had to get that, the pass to, Jared Cook, and then the kick. Crosby nailed it. That took a lot out of the Packers to win that game. So when you think about it like that, you have to understand something. You're playing again a week later, and I know you're a streaky team, and I know that you guys are saying, yeah, it's good to continue to play, but sometimes you need a little bit more recovery time. And that was a longer game than it had to be because, we see how it ended. The Falcons have enough, and they're so explosive. When I watched that game against the Seahawks, the explosiveness of this team is scary. And it's scary because Matt Ryan, to me, looks like a totally different person compared to last year. As far as comfortability, relaxing, making reads, throwing on the run, checking it down when it's needed to be checked down, identifying who's beat deep immediately and throwing that ball, very accurate. Look, just looking at the way that both these quarterbacks are playing right now, they're both extremely hot. But where does the edge come in? If you look at, like, Montgomery is very, very good. Again, I like that. But I can't give the edge to the Packers' run game because it doesn't make sense when you look at the Atlanta Falcons' run game. And that's what I boil down to. Defensively, I'm not even worried about their secondary and all that stuff like that because both of these teams are going to give up plays. They're going to both give up plays because both of the offenses are ready to go. Devontae Adams, Allison, you got Jones, you got all these, Tyler Gabriel, you got all these guys running around both sides of the field. I know that the secondary is not going to be able to maintain on both sides. But what's going to happen when the game needs to be slowed down? They need to run the ball in the red zone. They need to do certain things. Which side do you give the edge to? And that's what I've been trying to calculate. And the calculation is very, very easy. Looking at it objectively, the Falcons playing at home, that run game, that pass game, defensively with Vic Beasley, he may get a couple plays where Aaron Rodgers may fumble. He may hit him right away. That dude's coming off the edge like a goddamn bullet. A lot of things may go on that's going to surprise a lot of individuals. And I was able to see it against the Seahawks. And I know that's not the same Seahawks team, and the Legion of Boom is not there anymore, and it's just like all effed up. Earl Thomas hurt. They still beat on that team. It's the NFL. There's no excuses. And this is what I'm thinking. I'm really, really expecting that Matt Ryan and the Falcons will win this game. What do you guys think? Hashtag Packers, hashtag Falcons. I think this is going to be one of the greatest games ever in the NFL this coming Sunday. Let me know your thoughts. One love.